And we're back.
19. Hey, 19.
Really? We've done
Yeah.
19 of these.
Terrible song by fucking Steely Dan. We're gonna be started on Steely Dan. We gotta do an episode later, not now, but like at some point about bands that we hate that others love and we don't understand why.
Yeah, well, there could be. How's the mic level? Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I can hear you fine.
Like a whole music episode. We can do, a lot on that because you've got very strong opinions about music, and so do I. And so that would be a very good one for sure. Like bands that we hate for sure. Like I could do a lot on bands that are super popular that everybody loves that I fucking hate.
Well, there's two kinds, right? So you have bands that you hate, but you kind of get why others like them.
True.
Like, it's not my thing, but I get it. I get why others might like it.
Yeah.
But then there's ones where I just don't fucking get it at all. Like
that's true.
What? We got to save this one. This is
leave
good.
That as a teaser. That's a tease for later, and think about what we might say for that.
And then as a sub-genre part of that, we talk bands that we like, but we hate the fans of that band.
That's a good one.
I got a couple of those.
I know. So what's up, Dan? Dan, he texted me. He's like, "I'm not feeling good. I had a day. Are you all right, buddy?"
Yeah, work was shitty. So you know that I'm in my swan song at my corporate gig.
Right.
And so I quit April 1st, right around there, and so I contractually have to give them 60 days.
Oh, wow.
And so look, man, I'm
You're just coasting now. I mean, you're just coasting.
I'm a rule follower. I am coasting.
Yeah, you are. You know what, Dan? You are a rule follower. That is true.
Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I'm a rule follower if I think the rule makes sense. So they pay me well, and my contract's is 60 days. I did ask today if I could bow out May 15th and just be there as needed until the end of May. So
what'd they say to that?
They said they're going to let me know.
We'll let you know.
Between you and me, they're fucked 6 ways to Sunday when I'm gone.
Oh yeah, they're fucked. I mean, look, you can say yes or no to my May 15th thing. Just know that I've already checked out.
It's not in my makeup. It's not in my makeup. I'm gonna do well. I'm gonna do good work for them until the day I leave. But
yeah, you're a good person.
They're fucked for a different reason, and the reason is because the way it always works is there's one guy who does the work. That's me.
Yeah.
And then there's 20 middle managers like somewhere above me who have no fucking clue how any of it works. Right. And then there's people above them that really have no clue. And so when they think, oh, no big deal, we'll just backfill it, we'll hire somebody. There's a lot of learning curve with the shit I do. And I'm not just saying that. And anyway, it's gonna be funny. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm
always here for the collapse and the demise of large companies.
Yeah, no, this is gonna fuck them in one. I'm not gonna say what I do, but yeah, I can say it. Fuck it. My code processes their sales on TikTok and Instagram. I'm not gonna say what company.
Are we gonna talk about one of those topics today?
Yeah, we'll get in. We're gonna talk about TikTok, but before we do, let's start with a fun one. I want to start.
Yeah, what are we doing now? Hold on. So Dan texted me and he's like, "Hey, I got this segment for the podcast. It's called 20 Questions." Did you just Google like 20 fun questions to ask, or like what is this?
No. So so here. So my mother, my sainted mother, who is 78 years old, 78 years young, or 78, 77.
Okay.
She has had a major blow to her life.
Uh-oh.
Now hold on. Let me back up by saying this is not a serious thing to you and me because we're normal human beings.
Right.
To my mother, this is
kind of like a Ray Stern thing. I have a feeling.
This is like a seismic event. This is.
All right. Tell me what's going on.
This is an earthquake. This is a fucking tsunami. So I'm gonna see how well.
It's a disaster.
Yeah, I'm gonna see how well you can get inside the mind of a 77-year-old woman.
So that's 20 questions.
So you have to ask me yes or no questions. We're gonna see how long it takes you to figure out what this thing is that happened. that has my mother in a tizzy.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I get the premise of this. Your elderly mother is in a tizzy about something that is not horrible. It's not.
No, if it was real, if this was she has cancer, I wouldn't be making fun of it.
And then I have to deduct from scratch by asking you 20 questions
yes
of
or
what
no.
it is.
Yes or no question.
Yes or no. Okay, that's an interesting concept. All right. This is going to be good. Are you going to keep track of the numbers? Because I will not be able to do that.
Yeah,
you're a math guy. You could figure it out. Get a pen there. Figure it out.
I'm a math guy. So 20 questions.
All right, let me ask you. All right, yes or no? Okay.
Yes or no question. Here we go.
Mom. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to start. Does it have to do with food?
Yes. Wow.
Okay.
Right out of the gate. Okay. Okay. Wow. That's good. That's really good.
I would be good at this. All right. That's my number one out the gate. Does it have to do with food? Okay. Ready?
Okay.
Does it have to do with going out to a restaurant? Okay, that's iffy. Does it?
Kind of. I'll just say that kind of. But they don't always physically go to this place. Sometimes they have it brought to them.
Okay, that's good enough answer. You could say yes, right?
Yeah, the answer is basically it's basically yes. Yes,
right. Like I probably sometimes it's to go, whatever, but it's a restaurant. Okay.
Yes.
So I got 2 questions. Is it food? Is it a restaurant? Okay. Third question. The issue is not with food, it's with something else.
That's with this restaurant. No question.
Oh. Is the issue with the food specifically?
Yes.
Okay. That's my third question. All right. I'll try to go quicker. Was this a dine-in experience?
No.
Was the food cold?
No, it's not about that.
But it was about the food.
Are you asking me if the food it is about was a cold food versus a hot food?
I'm saying is the issue that she's having with this place
no
about the food? Or,
no. It's not. It has nothing to do with temperature. No.
Okay. But it has something to do with the food itself.
There is a food issue at a place.
Okay. All right. So I'm sorry for distracting. This is harder than I thought.
Okay. So you're at 6.
Okay. Okay. Yes or no question. Was this a takeout?
Irrelevant to this particular thing. I don't. In this case, I don't know. Whether I don't.
Let me think. I'm having a hard time. Was it to deal with the price?
No.
Was it to deal with the way that it tasted?
No.
All right, I'm going to rail through these now. I don't care. I got to figure this out. Okay, if it wasn't the tasted, if it wasn't the temperature, it wasn't the thing.
You want me to give you a hint?
Yeah, I need a hint. All right. Did it deal with the portion size?
No.
She didn't like the way the bread was made. Yes or no?
No.
It wasn't proper. Was it proper? Something was labeled as being Jewish, but it really wasn't.
No. So you labeled as Jewish?
So my question
is Jewish.
No. But like sometimes Panera might say like, hey,
let me help.
Hold on. They might say something like, hey, we have matzo ball soup, and then they deliver the matzo ball soup, and it's really not authentic matzo ball soup. That might have been the problem.
No. Okay, number one.
I'm failing on the 20 questions. I did good on the very first one, and now I'm lost. You gotta help.
I'm gonna give you another hint.
All right.
My mother is regimented beyond your comprehension.
Okay.
And gets the same thing every time.
So they discontinued an item on the menu and it's got her upset.
Yes. Now, can you guess the item? That's
okay. From Panera Bread, can I guess the item? What would something guys like? All right, yes or no question. Is it a soup?
No.
Is it a bread? Is it a sandwich?
It's not a sandwich. It's not specifically a bread.
Is it a bruschetta?
No. What do they have at Panera?
I don't know. I've never fucking been to Panera.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll give you another hint. It's a bakery item.
Okay. It's a scone.
Nope.
It's a bagel.
No.
Bro, you know what? I'm probably out of my... Okay, it's a muffin.
It's a cranberry orange muffin.
So let me try to take it from here. So she orders a cranberry orange muffin to be picked up. She brings it home. She gets the cranberry orange muffin, and there's no cranberries in it.
No. They got rid of it. It's not there anymore.
Oh, it's not on the menu.
So it is unclear.
Right. I'm sorry. I fucked up that segment, Dan.
No, you didn't. You were right on it, and then you just.
I just right out the gate. I'm like, this has to do with food.
And the problem is that you don't get out enough, and you don't know what they have.
I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, it comes to. I've never fucking ever been to a Panera Bread. I wouldn't know about the culture.
So there's 2 places on the planet. 3 places my parents will go to eat, and that's one of them. And this muffin, my mother gets it, and she cuts it up into about 30 pieces and eats it. Okay.
And it's a tradition. Like, she loves the orange cranberry muffin. She gets it all the time.
Loves it. Gets it every time. So we're sitting down with them. We go see them for dinner. My mother looks sour and upset. I'm like, Mom, what's going on? Panera no longer has the cranberry orange muffin. All they have is the blueberry. And then she made a face that's like.
Do the face? Listen. Panera stopped carrying the cranberry orange muffin. All they have is blueberry.
She has not decided whether this is a local conspiracy or a national one. So she had tasked my wife with going to our Panera to see if they have it.
Okay, hold on. But wouldn't the better route to be to, like, even for an old person like that, to call Panera and ask them if it's a chain thing, or now the course of action is to just physically go to other Paneras to see if it's there? Like, that's the course of action? Makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean,
she said to your wife, "Hey, bring us to the other Panera. We want to see if they."
No. They're not coming up here. She said she wants my wife to check ours to see if they have it. And
well, Dan, this is something you can do with something Google, right? You just go to Google, you go to Panera, you go to their corporate website. I'm sure there's a chat board.
I am not getting involved in this shit.
You're not going to get involved.
I got too much going on in my life to get involved in Muffin Gate.
Right?
I did tell my mother. I told my mother, I said, look, Mom, the wife and I go to this bagel place every week, and they make everything fresh, and they have these big fucking cranberry orange muffins. I will bring it to you.
Hold on. Stop the phone hold the phone right there. When you say cranberry orange muffin, and I've never been to Panera, and you say this was an item that they love was on the menu, this is the first time in my life that I'm ever aware that product existed. Like, I didn't even know that a cranberry orange muffin. I didn't know that a cranberry muffin existed. I didn't know that an orange fucking muffin existed. As far as I know, there's 2 kinds of muffins. You got a fucking blueberry muffin and maybe a corn muffin, and like that's it. So I didn't know that a cranberry orange muffin was a thing, so much so that not only does Panera have it, you're telling me that another independent bakery actually has the same fucking product?
Here, you don't believe me. This is where you being almost. This is where you almost being like an alien comes into play.
Yeah, I mean, because we're so different in a lot of ways. I'm lost on this one.
So this is my bagel place. This is my bagel place. Okay.
Right.
And you see,
not Panera.
Not Panera. This is a local joint. Now you see, they have 2 sizes. They have the small and the large. The
larges are in the back there.
The larges are in the back.
Okay.
The smalls are in the front. People have been ordering those smalls up the yin yang, and the larges are in the back.
Bro, how much do the smalls cost? Let me guess. $3.79 a piece.
I don't know. I'm not a muffin guy.
You don't need them? Okay.
I think.
But anyway, the other place has the fucking specific, and you could tell your mom, hey, look, if Panera stopped carrying them, I'll go to my bakery and I'll get them for you.
Right.
Or you're not going to get involved.
No.
Can they drive themselves? Are they to the point where they're not driving themselves around?
They will go within a 10-minute radius of their house.
Is it outside their radius?
We live an hour away. Yeah.
So
I said to her, look, the next time, because we go down there about twice a month for dinner. The next time I come down, Mom, I will go to the bagel place. I will fucking put it. I will freeze it.
Oh,
whatever you
Dan,
want me to
it's
do.
not the same when they're not fresh.
There's no good outcome to this. It doesn't matter what I do. So let's say,
and you know what, Dan? It comes right back to something that you said many podcasts ago. This is my problem.
Everything
right?
becomes my problem. Everything becomes my problem. Everything.
So now you're dealing with fucking Muffin Gate.
Well, think about it. Think about it. There's no good answer. If I bring it down and she doesn't like it, I got to hear about it.
Right.
And if she likes it, it's even worse because then I gotta keep bringing them. So like, there's no
fuck, dude. You know what? I've now determined the best course of action for you is to just lie and say, nope, I can't find these anymore. I don't know. They're not anywhere. They don't exist. I don't know what to tell you. Life moves on.
There's a cranberry shortage, mother. Haven't you read about it?
Just fucking lie. Because like if you start getting into, turns out there is one at my place. Can you come? Yvonne, I need you to come by more often for the cranberry orange muffins.
See, the problem is my mother wouldn't want me to do that because she would see that as like her imposing on me, even though I'm happy to bring her the muffin once a week. There's no winning though. There's no winning.
Muffin Gate. Now I know why you're having a date because you're dealing with Muffin Gate, bro. That's rough.
That's not what I'm doing.
And you know what? I really like the concept of 20 questions. Now I sort of understand what it is. And I feel bad that I didn't do better with it. You know what I mean? And so, but I think that segment has some good possibilities for the future. Like, this is a game that people play. Like, you think of something, it's like 20 questions. Like,
you want to do one more? You want to do one more? I got another.
Yeah, I want to do one more.
You got another one? Okay, here we go. So, I'm selling a house right now. Not my house, one of my rental houses.
Okay, selling a rental house.
And the buyer who's agreed to buy it did her inspection, her home inspection. And what that means is she hires.
Did she do it or she hire a guy?
No, you always hire a guy.
All right, it's a guy.
Home inspectors, in general, it's a very wide range. You have some that are really good at their job and they're good at finding the shit that matters and not
some rubber stamp shit they don't give a
fuck. Well, no, it's worse. They don't rubber stamp. They come up with dumb shit that's not really a problem.
Oh.
Like, and just kind of make shit up and just they're dumb as fuck.
And aren't these the guys that put the blue painter's tape everywhere when they see something they don't like? It's like marks on.
They will do that. They will do that. But like, I mean, there's 1,000 things they can do to fuck you up. And like, it's one thing if it's legit and you're like, this main electrical box is 60 years old. That's legit. But when they find something that is not what they think it is, and they say the dumbest shit ever and scare the buyer, because the buyer thinks they know what they're doing. The buyer thinks, oh, this guy's a home inspector. He must know what he's doing. But they don't. So, so I've been in the business 20 years. This is one of the dumbest things that I have seen in my days. This might be the dumbest. I've seen.
And I got to ask 20 questions to figure out what it is.
It's a home inspector. I'm going to give you some background information.
Thank you.
Yeah. Guess it. It's a home inspector who inspected a house and went into a particular part of the house and found something that he found concerning and told the buyer something about it that is insane and scared the shit out of the buyer. And we're probably going to lose the deal. So.
Okay, I'm ready. And I got to guess what this specific issue is.
Yes, I'm going to see. You might get this. You might actually.
All right, I'm going to get. All right, here we go.
And before you start, think of some of the worst shit you can scare someone about.
Yeah, I know. I already know what it is.
This is like if I said to you, Bruce, you might have pancreatic cancer. Oh no, it's just pink eye.
I'm gonna blow you away.
Man.
I'm gonna get it on the first fucking answer.
Okay, yes or no questions. Go ahead. Yes or no.
Was it black mold?
No, but that's a really good guess. I've had that happen.
Okay.
They look at mildew or something that's mold. There's good and there's bad mold. That's boring. I don't want to get into it. But you're on the right track. You're on the right track. That is a good example. This is dumber. This is dumber.
How is it dumber than that? So, all right, is it the kitchen?
No.
It has to do with the bathroom.
I'm going to give you another hint. It's not an area of the house you actually physically go in. A normal person's not going to go here, except for very rare, random.
Is it in the attic?
Yes.
Has to do with a creature?
No.
Has to do with a substance?
Yes.
Is it asbestos?
Yes. Bruce, we insulated this attic in 2021. 2021.
Yes, dude, I got it.
2021.
Yeah.
2021. We insulated this attic. This fucking dipshit says to the buyer, The way that the insulation is settled is reminiscent of a product that contains asbestos.
So,
bro, we insulated it 3 years ago.
Yeah,
3 years ago.
You're in the business, and I don't know about the business.
Right.
But I am Gen X, and everyone Gen X knows about asbestos and the scare of it. And this was a million years ago. Right. I remember our high school had a thing where we got out of school for a whole fucking week in the 80s, because the whole ceiling in the auditorium was asbestos. And I felt weird about it because like I had snuck up there a couple times. A bunch of us did. You know, to like leave bologna sandwiches to rot up there and things like that. so, you know, so when you say asbestos, I'm like, that is a fucking old school thing. And if the buyers are young, they don't even know what the fuck that is.
I don't know how buyers, but listen, man, listen. We insulated it 3 years ago.
They don't make asbestos products anymore.
No. If I insulated it 13 years ago, there'd be, or 23 years ago, there'd be no. Even 30 years ago.
When did asbestos get taken off the market as a material that?
That's a good question. When did
I don't know if it's super fascinating for the podcast, but I do know that I'm very happy that I guessed
1989. So even if I had done this 30 years ago in 1994, I couldn't have bought a product with asbestos.
Wow.
That is how dumb these fuckers are.
Wow.
And they say shit that scares these people, and they don't believe the seller. They figure the seller's lying to them. They figured, oh, my inspector must be telling me the truth.
So what? Why would the inspector do this? I mean, does the inspector get paid? Yes or no? Like no matter what he finds, like
they buy him no matter what. This guy gets his money no matter what. He can go in there and say there's fucking gremlins living in the basement.
So what I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the reason? Like, is he trying to fuck you? Is he just dumb?
Dumb. He's dumb. He's dumb.
Did you get a look at this guy? Were you there?
No, I was not there. No.
No.
I mean,
do you got a Ring camera so you can take a look at this guy?
No, unfortunately, he's from out of area. The buyer's not local. This dumb shit comes up and writes this in a report. And I've seen a lot of dumb shit in my day, like the mold thing. Yeah. This is way dumber because all you have to do is say, hey, when did you do this? When did you do this? Did you insulate it? The answer would be yes, we did 3 years ago. And
let me ask you this: could you then? I mean, if you scared off the buyers are now scared off on the whole thing.
The one buyer,
is there anything? Would it be proactive of you to like hire some other expert and to tell the buyers like, look, I know you think I'm lying or whatever, but here's the material. It's done.
It's not worth it because by the time you get around to doing that, you've wasted another week or two.
Yeah,
they're already. The thing about buyers, man, once they get you to agree on a price and you're under contract, all they do is half the time is look for reasons to get out of it.
I'm gonna come. So for the next show, I'm gonna play the 20. I got to think of something and have you guess the 20 questions.
You did good on that one. That was good.
Well, I was feeling super confident about my black mold guess right out the gate, and that would have just blown. That would have been great.
Yeah,
right out the back. But I did guess asbestos.
The mold thing has happened to me before. The mold thing is dumb, but not as dumb as the asbestos because they haven't made it since '89, dude. Like how would I have? And the stuff he flagged was clearly put there kind of recently because it was on.
Yeah,
it was blow-in insulation, and it was on top of things. It was on top of items that had clearly been in the attic a long time. So unless the insulation got up and moved, I mean, it's.
I don't know.
Fucking business, Bruce. This fucking business. This is why I need a henchman. I don't know. This is why I need a henchman. If you were down here, you would take care of all this.
Yeah. So Dan had. I want to tell the audience. Dan had once said, "Hey, Bruce, you need to be my henchman and just come out there and take care of business." And not like I'm some big tough guy. I'm totally not. But I am. Bossy.
No, but you don't. Nah, I don't mean physically tough, but you wouldn't take any shit. Like if I said to you, "Hey, man, I need you to go down there. I need you to talk to this fucking guy."
You know what it is? It's like Ro always tells me about that. She's like, Bruce, you know what I like about you? You're not afraid of confrontation, and I'm really not.
True.
Like in fact, I would almost seek it out sometimes, which is fucked up. Like one of these podcasts, I'm going to show up. I'm going to have a black eye straight up. Be like, what happened? And I'll be like, oh, I said something I should have, but I don't know. But yeah, what else do we got for this week?
That's all I got, man. Do you have another Goy story for us? Like something
What did I text you? What? No, please take this away. I never want to look at this again. This has been haunting my dreams. You know what? My young friend saw this picture. Ezra's friend, dude.
Yeah, the Jew.
Ezra's friend. Okay. Ezra has
that Heeb on here, man. I got a quiz.
No. But Ezra's got a couple friend. Her name is Eli. It's a couple, Eli and Elijah. They're a lovely couple. Okay. Also from East Jesus, and they're like 20, 21 years old, right? So I send this thing to Eli. And they're all three of them listen to the fucking podcast like it's religion, like they really do. And like I don't know why we have this 21-year-old audience, but like okay, so I send her this picture and she goes, "That's you, like on the left." I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I don't think so." She goes, "I don't think I'm gonna need proof, whatever." I'm like, am I really that misshapen where I can't even like say? So please take this down. Please take this down. It's really funny. But what other story did I text you? What other stories I wanted to talk about?
Like peeing in a bed.
Okay, I got one. Peeing. All right. Okay, this is this would be the the rock and roll tour story where I'm hooking up with chicks, and this is going to be the weekly one. And I thought about an episode that happened where I hooked up with a chick, and it was super. And as always, these are not a flex. These are more like totally embarrassing things that happened to me. And I'm horrified so this is around the same time. This is San Francisco. It's in the middle of the 90s. My band Grotus was doing good, and it wasn't particularly have to do with a tour. It has to do with just sort of like by the late 90s, I'm doing daytime drinking. We signed the band. The band got signed to a record deal. I didn't have a job. I had tons of disposable money.
Wow.
And I would I'm just going to go to the bar and drink all day. Like it was fucking great. I'm not going to lie. And so I went to this bar called the Firehouse, and it's just open all day, and they've got pool, and they let you smoke weed in there back in there. And it was like really nice. And I'm just back there drinking pints of beer and stuff, doing day drinking. Well, this was kind of a local hangout, and I would go out, and people, of course, knew me at the time. I'm like almost like a local celebrity, right? And there you go. So I'm almost like a local celebrity. I'm like hanging out there and playing pool, and I noticed there's a couple chicks that are like sort of eyeing me up or whatever. I'm like, okay. And the drunker I get, the more horny I get, like we all do, right? So like I'm drinking and I'm playing pool, and I got to describe this chick. So she's around my age, but she's taller than me. She's taller than me by like 3 inches. She's like, and I'm 5'9.5", right? So the chick tall, right? And she's tall, white girl, pale skin with short red haircut, like really kind of not my style or preference. But hey man, I like all types, right? And she was definitely eyeing me up. She was looking at me like a snack over the pool table and stuff. So a couple hours, and she's drinking heavily, and I'm drinking heavily. And now the sun starts to go down. So we must have been drinking for about a good, 5 hours in the bar. I must be like 12 pints deep at this point, bro. I'm like out of it. And she is like a tough chick, and she just goes like, hey, she was very forward. Hey, come back to my place with me. I'm like, yes. Okay, great. And she was attractive. She had like big boobs and everything. And I was like, that always gets me, right? So I'm like, okay, let's go. I want to play with those big boobs. So we go. So she brings me back to her place, whatever. And of course, it's not as bad as the ferret story from last year, I mean, the guinea pig story. Yeah. It's not. So, and of course, all these stories have the same thing where like the moment of horror where like you walk into her place and you see what you're dealing with. Well, I was super drunk at the time, and it was a regular apartment, whatever. It's San Francisco, Mission District, whatever. She goes, okay, here's my bedroom. And again, I don't really remember any of it. I probably performed horribly, if at all. Like, I don't even remember. Like, I was such a mess, right? But I do remember this part. And this is just shocking. So I wake up, and I've got the throbbing headache. And it must be like 2 in the morning.
Back up. This is middle of the night or the next morning?
No, it's probably in the middle of the night, because if we went back there and started hooking up at around 7 or 8 p.m., I probably knocked out at around 8 p.m., which means that I'm probably waking up around 1 or 2 in the morning, right? So I wake up around 1 or 2 in the morning, and same with her. So I wake up around 1 or 2 in the morning, and she's up smoking cigarettes. And by the way, we're both chain smoking cigarettes, whatever. And she's very like a dude like chick, you know what I mean? Like she's very kind of rough around the edges or whatever.
Sure.
But nice shape, And so she's like, I wake up, Dan. I can't believe I'm about to admit this. I wake up, and I sort of have this moment of realization. I'm in her bed, and Dan, I wet the bed. I wet the bed in my sleep.
With
right?
urine.
With my own pee. This is me.
Right.
So I wake up and I have
okay.
this realization like, oh my God, my pants are wet. I'm wet. And I wet the bed and it's not my bed. This is this chick's bed. Right. And that moment of horror, like I just fucking wet this chick's bed. And instantly, really quickly going on in my head is like, really quick, it starts, she's not in bed. I can sort of sense that she's milling around the kitchen doing something. I'm like, I have to deal with the reality of the situation. Like, I almost want to I just want to just jump off a cliff at this point. So then I'm thinking real quick, like, oh my God, it's over for me. She's going to tell everybody she knows. I'm going to be the laughing stock. My life is over because I wet the bed. By the way, I'm like 27 years old, right? Let's just get that right out. She comes back in, Dan, listen to this. She comes back in and I just say her name, which I forget at the moment. I'm just like, hey, so-and-so, I think I've had a little bit of an accident over here.
Oh, no.
And without fucking flinching, Dan, without batting an eye, she's smoking a cigarette and she just kind of looks at me and goes, yeah, it looks like we had high tide last night. Like that. And she said it so matter-of-factly and so casually and was not even upset at it. And the conversation that took place afterwards, like, oh, I'm sorry, you want me to clean up? She's like, it's no big deal. I'll just change the sheets or whatever. And so long story short, I get out of there. And now I'm like trying to go somewhere like 2 a.m. or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, as horrified as I am that I wet the bed, shouldn't I be concerned about how it wasn't a big of a deal that I wet her bed? Like, what other dudes have wet the bed? Like, what other horrible things have happened?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was starting to think.
Right? Like, if that's not a big deal, like if I wake up and the chick isn't like, you fucking scumbag, you wet my fucking bed. Like, that's the normal reaction, not,
or hey, what the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Something,
whatever. Yeah.
But it was so, she was so casual about it. So cool about it, for lack of a better term. Didn't care, wasn't shocked, wasn't angry at me in the least bit. In fact, I went back there a couple times after that. And we would joke about it. Like, hey, we're not gonna have a high tide situation, are we? I'm like, no high tide situation anyway. But I was completely embarrassed and horrified about it. Did it stop me from drinking at the time? No. Did it stop me from going back there at the time? No. And it's just like one of those things where like I can't even believe. I think about I have all the parts of that story that I absolutely forget, including the lovemaking and even her name and what she really looked like and blah, blah, blah. Crystal clear is, yeah, it looks like the high tide last night.
I'm going to make you feel better about yourself.
Please.
So you said,
first off, what do you think about that story? First off,
honestly, I can't relate to it on any level because I've never, it's just, you and I have had such opposite lives,
right?
But
tell me what you're gonna say. Yeah,
it's fantastic. I mean, it's just like that you and I have found each other and come together as a duo,
right?
Yet, and have so much in common in many ways, but in so many other ways, we are the opposite fucking human being,
right?
Like, my thought is, I can't even wrap my head around it.
You said you were going to make me feel better about something.
You ready? So you said you were 27.
Yeah,
roughly. Right? Would you
probably
like to see?
Exactly. Probably exactly.
So this is going to make you feel better. Here's your boy at 27.
Oh no, Dan, you are not post. Okay,
wants me at 27.
Guys,
Dan, look at this. Look at the difference.
Hold on.
So look. So there's good and there's bad. The bad is I looked awful at 27. The good is I'm better now than I was at 27. Right? Wouldn't you say I look better now?
You do.
Say I look better now?
You do. I look worse than I do back then. Well, different. Okay, worse. And but it is interesting because me, I figured out me in that picture that you just showed, that I'm 30 in that picture.
Oh wow.
I'm 30.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I mean, look, that was 20 some odd years ago.
You know what? The picture of you is not flattering. The
it's
picture
awful.
of you 27 is awful. Like, yeah, you and why do you have like a cheesy bandito, like sort of like you got some sort of like a Frito Bandito mustache?
So that was a joke. I had a goatee and I was shaving it, and I left the mustache on as a joke for like an hour. For like an hour.
Okay.
I was at that point. I was.
But the hair is crazy, bro.
I had not figured out. Oh, okay, dude, time to start shaving that shit. I was fat.
Yeah.
I was fat. You're
27 here?
27.
Jesus Christ, bro.
And now I'm 51 almost. And look at me. Pretty good.
Dan is I got to tell the audience, Dan is very handsome right now.
Pretty good.
He is. Right? Good for you, bro.
Compared to that guy. No, so yeah, but
I never wet the bed. That guy never wet the bed at a chick's place. But
I have never wet the bed. No.
That was rough. And then so that was I was going to tell my story of this week, like what horrible thing have I done, chick story, whatever. And then I thought about the wet the bed story, and then I started thinking about it even more. There are 2 more stories like that. And so, of course, this was back in the drinking days and stuff, and it has a lot to do with bad, alcoholic behavior or whatever. But it was just so funny how she was like, yeah, she wasn't fucking horrified. I just couldn't believe it. And it bothered me a little bit later. I'm like, well, shouldn't you be more horrified? Like why? What else has happened in this bed that's not a big deal?
Yeah.
If that's not a big deal, what is a big deal? Right? What's a big deal?
You know what though? God bless her, because a lot of chicks, that would be it.
She was so cool. She was so cool about it.
God bless her.
And you know what? She's like, she was like a dude, she was sort of like tattoos, real rough around the edges. She could definitely kick some ass. She could have kicked my ass if she wanted to. She was like an Amazon lady, real tall, and just big boobs, like I said, but short red hair and pretty full lips and everything. I was like, oh my God, this chick. And I do remember one of the other times she took me back to the place after it. I wasn't so drunk, and I remember it. And she worked me fucking hard, like a 9 to 5, And
yeah.
I was like, damn, that was a good. But yeah, if she would tease me you're not gonna fucking bay at a high tide, not gonna happen. I'm like, no high tide, whatever. But
no, I mean, it's meanwhile, at that time in my life, that picture, I was married. I was to my first wife. I was fucking miserable. My life was shit. I mean, it's just, oh man.
I was having the time of my life back then. I mean, I was just I mean, I was miserably addicted to alcohol and drugs for sure. But at the same time, I was just living what every young man thinks about. You're in a band, you get signed.
Look, man, you and I never talk about this, but what you achieved is so rare. I mean, to get a record deal, I mean,
yeah, it was, yeah.
There's a zillion really talented musicians out there who never even sniff that, So
it was nuts, and it wasn't so much money, but it was enough to where I didn't.
It doesn't matter. It's not about the money. It's not the money. It's the clout.
Yeah, I mean, it was clout, and there was a time where I could walk around San Francisco, and the other guys in the band too, like the singer especially. We would walk around the streets of San Francisco and just get noticed. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Oh, these guys, and it was with the chicks, and just it was just what a time,
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I had. What did I text you with the other story I was going to tell? Because there was that one. And
let's do one a week. I think we need to.
No. Yeah, it wasn't a chick story. It was something else.
You said.
Let me look at my phone, because I said, hey, there's 2 things I want to talk about. One of them was the chick, and one of them
TikTok. Yeah, we were going to talk about the TikTok.
Oh, we're going to talk about TikTok.
I mean, for a minute, I want to see what you think of that, because let me find the story. I mean,
all right, I could easily talk about TikTok, because I know. What are we talking about? The TikTok ban? It's kind of we got to be careful this doesn't get too political and dry. But are we talking about the TikTok ban that we hear about in the news about China and all that?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what you think. I'm going to find the story.
I mean, I don't feel comfortable talking about too many things that I'm not that knowledgeable enough to have an opinion.
No, but I mean, you don't. I don't think you need a lot of knowledge to basically give me your opinion on. Right here. See, okay, so
what's it say? Because he's pulling up an article.
It passed the House of Representatives. It was part of a big aid package.
Yeah, but this was last week. But is this a recent article?
Yes, this is April 22nd. It's today.
What does the headline say? Tell the audience.
Congress seems poised to pass potential TikTok ban in U.S. How would it work? And let me give you the TLDR. Basically, they want TikTok to be sold to an American company. At least
I know this much.
The American operation.
Yeah.
It gives them 9 months to do that with a potential extension. And it's fascinating to me. The reason this is fascinating to me, trying not to get too political, is there's really no, the reasons for this are are weird to me, because if the reasons they're using to justify this are stupid, considering every social media app is basically
exactly. It's exactly what I was going to say. Like they're saying, we don't want this because it's going to steal your personal information, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I got news for you. Every single app talks to every other app. And I'm convinced the phone just listens to me while I'm just, because I would be like talking about like, hey, I'm thinking about buying a drum set. If I just say that with the phone sitting on the table, I'm thinking about buying a drum set. On all social media platforms, there are ads for drum sets. This happens.
Yeah, well, that aside, it feels creepy to me, not because I'm some big social media guy, but because what the fuck's the difference? They're all the same. All you're really doing is removing the competitor of Twitter and Facebook and Instagram or whatever else. It seems to me that's the main thing you're accomplishing by this, is removing their.
But I also have a different thought on this as well. So I must tell you in the audience, like I don't know too much about the news or that in per se, but I do know this when it comes to TikTok. Dan, I hate to admit it, I'm a fucking heavy user of TikTok. You know how the phone will tell you how much time you spend on each app?
Yeah.
I don't even like looking at it, because I'm gonna make an admission right now. Most every night I'm on TikTok for a good 4 hours. At least, bro. I should be asleep, but I'm just scrolling. And it's got the strongest algorithm out there, like, because it just somehow hooks into what you like, and the dopamine and the serotonin, it just gets you every time. And so I'm a heavy user. What I like about TikTok right now is that it's not controlled by an American company. I like that it's not controlled by any American company, because you see shit on TikTok right now, anything goes. Twitter used to be like that before Elon bought it. Remember, like the Arab Spring?
No, it was the other way around. No. Look, you like or hate Elon, and there's plenty of reasons to dislike him. But if anything, he actually removed the censorship. The censorship that was there, and I know because I got my accounts banned a million fucking times on Twitter. But I'm telling you, post Elon, it's still bad in a lot of ways, but it's gotten better. It used to be, man.
No, that's a hard disagree, because
dude, there's proof of this. There's proof of this.
So Dan, there is okay. So he's allowed free speech. He's all about free speech. I'm going to make Twitter free speech. That's great. And as such, it's become, a right-wing cesspool of white nationalist propaganda.
I'm not talking about that, though. I'm talking about people. I can show you examples, man. This was all studied. This, like, what happened was when he bought it, he took all the documentation and a lot of the communications that happened internally at Twitter before he bought it, and he turned it over to some journalists. This has nothing to do with right-wing shit. And they were censoring left-wing people, dude. Like, it was. Again, I don't like any billionaire, period. But in the case of this one thing, he is an improvement to what they were. It's still shitty. But it's an improvement. And I
we don't need to get into that too. Look, I'll warn you right now.
I haven't had an account banned since he took it over. Whereas before he took it over, dude, it was like, oh my God.
He's allowing a lot more hate speech to go out there. And
so block them.
Say, okay, if you're one of these guys that says, hey, hate speech is free speech and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree, and that's fine.
I mean, but who decides, Bruce? Who decides? Who decides what's hate speech?
The community that's affected by it.
No. The problem is those rules that you seem to want always they always end up hurting you in the end. What's going to happen is you agree today, that's good, ban that guy. And then next week, you're the guy they want to ban.
So Elon decided to ban, he's letting off all this, free speech, floodgates are open. You could say what you want. You could use the N-word openly. No one cares. He's going to allow you to use the N-word. Imagine if you were a black person and now all of a sudden it's just N-word this, N-word that. What's the difference
between that and somebody coming up to you on the street and saying it?
Probably there'd be repercussions to it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You and I disagree on this.
But I will say this.
That's what free speech is.
Okay,
it's going to be shit you don't like.
That's fine. You could say free speech, but then there's also hate speech, and I definitely think there's a difference. I find it very interesting.
There is a difference. I agree, but who decides?
I find it very interesting that one of the words that Elon just decided that he didn't like, and that if you type it in, it gets banned, is if you type in cis people, SIS people. He doesn't like that.
Yeah,
and that's a word that's banned. Okay, that's interesting. That says a lot to him. I'll tell you one thing. No one hates Elon Musk more than me. I fucking hate this guy with the heat of 1,000 suns. I don't think he's smart. Like, I don't even want to get into it. It's gonna be a whole thing.
I'm not
I
an
think he's
Elon Musk
evil.
fan. I'm just telling you factually that what was going on there prior to him buying it was worse. That's all I'm saying. I don't like him. I don't like anybody.
Okay, worse or better is going to be subjective as to who's saying worse or better, or I don't know.
I don't like any billionaire. Period.
I don't either. I don't even like Taylor Swift.
I have to say that if I'm comparing what Twitter was before and what Twitter is now, what Twitter is now is improved. It's still shitty in many, many ways, but it's better than it was.
But what about when Twitter was around, when that guy Jack owned it, and it was used for the Arab Spring? Do you remember that? Like, it allowed the communities to talk and organize and to make social change.
That was probably before. So
that was a long time ago. The Arab Spring.
Early, of course, because now you're dealing with normal human beings. But then it got overtaken by these corporate fucks. And I could send you, like, all this got studied. Like, the shit that came out, they basically did a document dump. That's the one good thing he did, Elon, is he did a document dump of all the internal communications of that company before he bought it. And it is fucking creepy, the shit they did. Fucking creepy.
Well, I haven't been on it in a while because I got banned a while ago too.
Oh, I was banned. Oh my God, dude. Yeah. Pre-Elon, I could not keep an account. And you think
were you banning right-wing shit or left-wing shit? Were you posting mostly?
Do you know me? What do you think? I mean, I'm a left guy. Like, so if you,
what do you think? What do you think you were posting that got you banned, though? Have you been able to? Because I know what I did. I can tell you exactly what it was.
I can tell you exactly what got me banned.
And I'll tell you what I got banned too.
I tweeted a news guy, like one of the corporate shit-sucking news people. Like, I don't remember CNN, one of those. I don't remember which one. And I said, "You're going to get killed in the midterms." I was basically saying that the shit he was advocating.
The algorithm picked up the word "you're going to get killed," and that was it. Yeah.
Right. So you appeal it, and even then they're like, "No." And it was not strictly saying that. It was because I said it to him.
I know. Did you have you gotten warnings before, or is it just one and done?
One and done.
That's interesting.
And again, what I found out from people who know better than me is I could have said that to you. Hey, Bruce, you're going to kill the midterms, and no one would have cared, because he is a blue check mark. He's a shit slurping corporate news propagandist guy. That is who they protected. This is pre-Elon. That is who they protected. Yeah. Basically, those establishment figures is who they protected. And
Go ahead.
What did you get banned for?
I got banned for using two terms too much, guillotines and billionaire together. Crazy. And it would be a lot of different posts like, "Oh, this billionaire's time for the guillotine. The guillotine's, you're next in line. You're next in line for the choppy chop, and the guillotine and billionaires, blah, blah, blah."
What year was this? When did this happen?
Oh, it was not that long ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Pre-Elon or post?
Oh, post Elon, because it was about Elon. I was tweeting about fucking Elon.
It's weird. See, that to me is insane that they would ban you for that. But my point is that there's people out there, Bruce, who would say that's hate speech. Yeah, hate speech.
That's true.
That's my point. Is that I'm not comfortable. Just
but is a billionaire a disenfranchised person?
They're not, but it doesn't matter if someone says it's hate speech. If somebody out there decides you're saying something hateful, I'm just saying I am not comfortable. Just like in the 80s,
more of a threat of violence. I mean, looking at it, like I understand why they banned me, and I get it.
Guillotine? Who the fuck owns a guillotine?
Dude, I didn't even appeal it. Because they sent me. They're like, "You got in trouble for this," and I'm like, "I was talking about guillotines and chopping people's head off." Okay, you got me. I didn't appeal it. I know full well.
All I'm telling you is before pre-Elon, I got killed in the midterms, and then I don't remember what the next one was. Same kind of thing where I would say something to a blue check like that, like killed in the midterms.
And it's funny. It's a term of speech though. Like if you say like I got killed in the midterms, means you lost the like you're not using the word kill. Yeah, but like it's weird how the algorithm just doesn't pick that up. It's like it just picks up.
It does pick it up, Bruce. They do not want dissidents. The word is dissidents. That's what you and I are. They do not want us going after the establishment. Fucking period. And that is why. That is why I am not comfortable with censorship. And it's not because I love hate speech. It's because I am not comfortable giving someone the power to decide. Because today I might agree with them. Oh, yes, it's good that you ban that guy who used the N-word. But tomorrow they might decide it's me they want to ban because I'm against, I don't know, whatever politician, or I'm against what's happening in Palestine or whatever.
Right? I don't know. I disagree. I hard disagree on that, you know. But when it comes to TikTok, and they have the fact that, you know, the ban on TikTok,
it's ridiculous.
As we both know, it's not really a ban. Now, I'm a heavy fucking user, like I told you. And so when I'm on TikTok and that news first came out, everyone started freaking out, right? And all these content creators are like, they're going to take away this app. I make my living from this app. And they were complaining about that. But I don't really look, when it comes to like people saying I make my living from this app, I don't have any mercy for them really, because it's like, look, it's a free platform that you joined. You agree to their terms and services. They don't owe you nothing. Like these people that bitch about Facebook.
No, you're not. No, I agree. You don't have a God-given right.
I'm not one of those guys that like, oh, poor you. But what I do like, and so they were upset that like, oh, there's a TikTok ban. They're gonna remove TikTok. I'm like, no, they're not. It's always gonna be here. Like the article said, and like you said, America just wants it to be owned by an American company, which I think sucks. Because I'll tell you right now, like I'm on TikTok all the time. You know what I saw on TikTok, dude? It's fucking nuts. That guy burning himself right now. Look, did you watch Faces of Death when you were a kid? Like that videotape that was going around? Mm-hmm. Dude, we were different. Back in the 80s, there was a videotape going around called Faces of Death.
I remember.
Young people.
Yeah.
And you could see people dying for real on video. And it was fascinating. And it was like this sort of thing like, oh my God, have you seen the faces? I'll borrow the videotape from my friend, you know? And then after that, there was early on in the internet, there was something called rotten.com. Do you remember rotten.com?
Oh, yes, that I remember. My wife loved that shit. Me, not so much.
So you can see grisly ass shit on rotten.
You remember Fecal Japan?
No, I don't.
Right.
I don't want to know about it. Yeah. But anyway, that
was on rotten.com.
Okay. You would know that. But basically, right now, TikTok is the Wild West. You could see things that people post there that you're not going to see anywhere else. I know that like Instagram heavily censors things.
Dude, it's simple. It's the bottom line.
Quite frankly, from what I understand, I have a lot of friends who are on Twitter. Like they will they say, oh, shit gets censored all the time on Twitter.
There's two reasons that it's getting banned. Ready? One, their competition, Facebook, Twitter, probably lobbies the shit out of Congress. And two, our government wants to control social media, and they can't control the Chinese company.
I'm gonna agree with you on that 100%. 100%. Because you know what's going on TikTok right now, and like I said, I'm a heavy user. There's almost the seeds of revolution going on TikTok right now. I swear to God, it's people like me just making short videos, people like you talking about things like this, and they're saying stuff like, you know, we should form a union, or like, I don't like the way I'm being treated at work. And people are like, you know what? I don't like that I have to struggle to survive every single day. Should we really be living like this?
That is why they want to control it.
Yeah.
Because they don't
I'm going to agree with you 100%. They don't want that. They don't want this sort of tide of dissidence to be rising. They just want to keep everyone like, oh, let's just keep going to work. And if we're all stuck in survival mode, if we're all stuck just treading water to live, no one's gonna, like, you know how like there's always talk on these online things about general strike. That's what I keep saying. Oh, you know, March 1st, general strike. Everyone, what would we do if everyone just didn't go into work for one day? We'd cripple the nation, right? And they're right. But you know what? The problem with that is like, who's going to do that? Because everybody's like, dude, I got to go to work. I got to make money. I got bills to pay. And so that's the mind that everybody's in. I can't do that. It's a great idea, but I can't go do that because I got bills to pay, whatever. Yeah, this guy, I'm familiar with this.
There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks. And it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real
famous
owners.
George Carlin.
The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you.
When was this done?
They own everything. They own all the important
He
land.
died in 08.
They own and
so
control the
before
corporations.
that.
They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets, and they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear.
Yeah, he's right.
By the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year.
That's my point. They control. They want to control social media like they control the news media, which they do, and that's what this is about. It's sad.
It is sad.
I hope it doesn't happen.
Well,
I mean,
what's going to happen is this, because like I said, I'm on Twitter, I'm on TikTok all the time, and so everybody knows this is coming down the pike. Everybody knows that pretty soon, when this happens and the Americans buy it, that we're not going to see these. The feed that you see, it's just Dan, it's called For You page, the FYP. You might know about this if you work in TikTok. So the feed that you get is the FYP feed, and it's not people that you follow directly. It's things that the algorithm thinks you might like, and everybody always keeps it to the FYP because that's how you discover new shit. And you let the algorithm just show you shit, what they know about you, what you stopped to watch. They're going to show Bruce more of that shit. Oh, Bruce likes watching school buses crash. Let's fucking show Bruce more. You know what I mean? So they're going to show me that. Car chases, all this kind of shit. You know, thick Asians, right? The tons of thick Asians.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so but like. That's going to change. That's going to change if the Americans buy it. But here's what's going to happen. User content will go down, just like people are not using Twitter anymore. Twitter's tanking, stocks going down. Facebook has become uncool. I don't know if you know it or not, but it just like the only people using Facebook right now are boomers and Gen X, mainly boomers.
Yes.
And if you ask a young person like Eli or Elijah or Ezra, about Facebook, they'll give you a look like, motherfucker, how old are you?
But Facebook owns Instagram. Remember that.
They do. So it's all tied in. It's the same shit. And those two apps are a lot less cool. So what happens with these apps is they start off cool. Everything starts off cool. And once it gets going, it becomes a lot less cool. So what's going to happen? If this happens to TikTok, some other new social media thing will come up. It'll rise in the ranks, and there'll be that sweet spot where it's big enough to where people are going to be involved, but not big enough to where it's fucking bought out and uncool yet. And that's where TikTok has been living for the past couple of years. But like every great regime, it's coming to an end. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, they get what they want. They always get what they want. So
yep.
As you can see, it's getting dark here. I'm going to call it quits. I want to do a plug.
So yeah, hold on. Dan calls me and he tells me, he's like, hey, there's a fucking other podcast that's like giving a shout out.
No. This is my favorite podcast. I discovered these guys a couple of years ago. It's two dudes, and they're a lot politically. They're a lot like you and me, very left, very, they hate the establishment and they hate fucking, what's happening in capitalism and all that. So highly recommend.
I have not vetted this that Dan is showing me right now, but I'll take his word for now.
No, you would like that. No. You would like these guys. You would like these guys.
It's not some Joe Rogan bullshit, is it?
God, fuck you with the Joe. I'm not. Joe Rogan has no politics. He's a meathead. Like,
please.
Anyway, stop.
So, Do Dissidents, you like?
It is by far my. I don't miss it. So there, you can get it on audio. You can get it on YouTube. Send them money. Don't send us money. Send them money. Join their podcast.
Are these guys the reason why we got more followers? Like I noticed, I logged in.
No, they do streams where supporters can call in, and I'm a supporter, and I mentioned our podcast, and they were nice enough to.
It jumped from about 6 subscribers to over 50.
No, these guys are awesome.
I was happy.
No, you would like. I mean, you might not agree with 100% of what they say, but you'd agree with 92% of it for sure.
That's all. That's good.
And these guys, they do a really, really good job of breaking down the bullshit and like cutting through the bullshit. Basically, I really enjoy their take on shit. Even if I don't always agree, I agree most of the time. And it's intellectual honesty, and that's all I really care about. I can disagree with you. It's fine if I don't agree with you, as long as you're being honest, as long as there's no bullshit. And these guys, they do a really good job. They're entertaining. They're funny. Highly recommend. Give them some money. Throw them a few shekels.
Say it again.
Do Dissidents.
DoDissidents.com.
Yeah. So they do.
That's a
Yeah,
mouthful.
highly
Do
recommend. You should definitely
Dissidents.
you should check it out, Bruce. They liked our logo too. They compliment our logo. Like,
Oh.
yeah. The Goy. The artist Goy.
So
all right, everybody.
Are you gonna? You're tired. You got to get out of here. Dan's getting
man,
cranky.
it's 8:15. I got shit to do. I'm a busy man.
Oh my God,
Bruce.
this guy.
Very busy man. But
hey, brother, good talking to you as well.
Not all of us live the life of luxury of Bruce.
Luxury.
You're luxuriating.
Am I really luxuriating? Like, really? You should have no idea, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, dude.
All right. Till next week, everybody.
Good speaking with you, brother. We'll see you next week.
Vaya con Dios.